second grade, yesterday we were adding 10 and 100 to those 3-digit numbers. And today we're going to be doing something a little different with those 3-digit numbers. And we'll continue with this work for the next 2 weeks, this week and next. I'm so excited. Let's go ahead and read our learning target today and see what we have in store. I can add a 2-digit and a 3-digit number together. Ooh, what do we see in there that we know? Yes, yesterday you told me that a 3-digit number has hundreds, tens, and ones. What else do we already know? A 2-digit number has tens and ones. We are adding. And friends, I'll tell you that we don't necessarily have to do this in our heads. We can solve it a lot of different ways, and we're going to show those ways today. So as we go ahead and get started, we're going to think about those 2-digit and 3-digit, and always being mindful of what place are those numbers in and how much are they worth. Let's go ahead and read our first problem. Jose sold 123 books in the morning, and he sold another 95 books in the afternoon. How many books did Jose sell? Jose sold 123 books in the morning and 95 books in the afternoon. How many books did Jose sell? What do we already know? What's the problem asking us? We already know that he sold 120 books in the morning. What else do we already know? He sold 95 more in the afternoon. What is the problem asking us? How many books did Jose sell? So what equation might we write to match this story? If we know he sold 123 books in the morning, 95 in the afternoon, and we're asking ourselves how many books did he sell, what would our equation be? Go ahead and write that down in your math journals, and then put your thumb in front of your tummy. If you're at home, you can do the same thing. What numbers are you putting together? How are you showing that you're putting them together? What are we missing? How do we show that unknown in our equation? All right, friends, go ahead and come together. Remember, at any time you can pause me. 123 plus 95 equals box. So talk to me, friends. What do those represent? I'm seeing a lot of wiggle waggles saying, I agree. But what do those represent? 123 are the books in the morning, or AM. 95 are the books he sold in the PM, in the afternoon. And what does that box represent? How many books he sold all together, total. And that box helps us know that's what we're solving for, right? There's that unknown. All right, whether you're using your base 10 blocks, number lines, whatever you're using to help you solve this, show me your thinking. Remember, I want to see, I'm going to be asking you as I come around, where is the 123 in your work? Where is the 95? Where is that unknown? I really want to be able to see that clearly in your work. Whether you're labeling it or able to point it out to me, I do want to make sure we see that so we know where all of our parts and then where our whole is. How are you organizing your base 10 blocks? How does that help you? All right. And what are you doing first? And how many ones did you have all together? How many tens? How are you going to add those together? You did base 10 blocks too, but talk to me about yours. Where's that extra 100 coming from? Oh, and so how did you show that with your tens? I see your number line here. Talk to me about this number line. how did our work from about adding tens yesterday to a 3-digit number, how did that help you do this work? Aha, and where are each of those tens in your number line? Right, and where's the 5 in your number line? And what is your unknown? Can you solve it a different way or show your work in a different way and see if you come up with the same answer? Is there another way to solve that? Why did your hundreds place change and your tens place change? Your ones place change too. Why did all of the places change? Absolutely, there's not a 0 in any of those places that we're adding to it. All right, friends, as we're coming together, I want you to make sure you're putting your work down. If you need to pause us, you're welcome to. But we want to go ahead and get this started so we can solve a couple more problems together. If you're at home, pause me, and you can unpause me or resume me as soon as you're ready to listen. We're going to start with our base 10 blocks. How did you organize your base 10 blocks? Actually, I have 2 different people who solved using their base 10, but they solved it in a little different way, and we're going to actually show both of those today. Talk to me about how you organized yours. Did anybody else use a hundreds, tens, and ones chart to help you? Some of you did. That's a great tool. Why did you decide to use that hundreds, tens, and ones chart to help you? To keep your hundreds, your tens, and your ones separate. Okay, so you knew you could add your ones. Knew what you were adding together. All right, so what did you do? You created your 123. Okay, so you had your 100, your 2 tens, and your 3 ones. Okay, and then what did you do? And where did you put your 95? Okay, your 9 tens were here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so there's your 9 tens and your 5 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and what did you do next? Why didn't you add any 100s? There were no hundreds in there, were there? Okay, so what did you do? You added your ones together, okay? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. 110 in your tens place, and then you had 100 in your hundreds place. Okay, so then what did you do? Okay, so you added your 100 and your 110 first. Okay, and what did that look like? That was 210. Okay, so you were just adding something to your hundreds place. That worked from yesterday, right? That 100s place is changing, but there's 2 zeros there, so the tens and the ones are going to stay the same. And you still needed to add your 8, so you had 218. Wiggle waggle if you agree. 218. All right, and remember we can actually make this stream because these three add-ins are the same as these 2 add-ins, and it's the same as this. So we can put that equal sign in that streak because they are all equal. This is the same as this, is the same as this. Now the other friend who was showing their work with their base 10 blocks did it a little different way, okay? All right, so before we see our 123, we see our 95, and then where's the 218 in your work? It's all of this, right? And then there's that sum right there. How did you do it with your base 10s? Okay, so you still drew 113, or 123, sorry. Then what did you do? 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and 95. Okay. You had your 8, so you added your ones together first. Then what did you do? Oh, you knew that 9 and 1 is 10 tens. So you crossed that off and you traded it for a flat. So then how many tens did you have? You had 10 left over and you had 200 here. And so what does that equal? 218. So how are these two ways similar and how are they different? They're both using base 10 blocks, absolutely. How are they different though? And they did come up with the same answer, you're right. How are they different? This person exchanged your 1010s for your 100 before doing the work at the bottom. This friend added the hundreds after the fact. So added up the 10s and then added them to the 100s. This one made that 100 to put it over here. All right, we have one more strategy to show you, or one more way. And I almost got that orange again. We don't need another orange, do we? Okay, so my friend over here, completely different way. Let's take a peek at this one. I heard somebody just say, ooh, a number line. Yes. Okay, so where did you start on that number line? 123. Okay, and then what did you do? You made 9 jumps of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, and yes, when I went up to this friend and I said, ooh, talk to me about your work, they said, well, yesterday we were adding 10 to the 3-digit number, and so I knew I could do it here too. So when you did that, where did you land? And what place of yours changed? Your 10's place changed. So you went 123 to 133, 143, 153, 163, 173, 183, 193. And then what did you do? 203. And how do you know? Because 19 and 10 more is 20. And then what? 213. Okay, and then what did you do? So there's your 90, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and you needed to add 5 more. And when you added 5 more to 213, what did you get? 218. And how did you know that? 3 and 5 is 8, so 13 and 5 more is 18, so 213 plus 5 more is 218. Are all of these ways that you can solve? Absolutely. There's that 95 that we're adding. These are all great ways to show this thinking and work through adding a 3-digit and a 2-digit. So now that we have this up here, let's go ahead and solve our next problem and see how these might be ways that you can help yourself solve the next one. Okay? Remember, we can use it to help us. Michelle brought 146 red grapes and 87 green grapes for the school snack. How many grapes did she bring? What do we know, my friends? She brought 146 red grapes, 87 green grapes, and what is the problem asking us? How many grapes did she bring? Absolutely. Okay, so what would our equation be? Take a minute with your friend or on your own and write your equation that might match the story. And why did you add those two together? Okay, we're trying to find out how much. Or try to find out what. How many there are all together. How many grapes. Right, what was your equation that you wrote? All right, I'm seeing some wiggle waggles. How do we know that this is what equation matches the story? What do these numbers represent? 146 red grapes, 87 green, and here's that total number of grapes. Okay, now show me how you might solve this. Where are the grapes in your work, in your model? Where are the red grapes? Where are the green grapes? What did you add together first? Why did you decompose that number in that way? So when you make a 10, what are you going to do next? is there another way to solve this? What strategy did you use? I'm not adding 100. Why is my hundreds place changing? Why did you decompose your numbers that way? And why did you group those numbers that way? What did you do once you made 100? What did you do once you made a 10? And where did it go? What did you notice about the tens place? Ooh, all right, friends, remember you can always pause our videos. We can show what we know, and you can go back and look at it later. All right, let's talk to us. We're gonna actually go back again and look at these ways with those base 10 blocks. Okay, so, all right, how did you show 146? 100, 4 tens, 6 ones, okay? And then what did you do? 87, so no hundreds, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, okay? And what did you do next? Okay, you know that 6 and 7 is 13, okay? But you write 13 at the bottom. What did you do? You made that 10, and then you added that 10 over there. So you traded it, your 10 ones for your 110. And so what did you write below your ones column? And where are those 3? The 3 extras. So when you had 13, because 6 and 7 is 13, took 10 away, and you have 3 left over. Okay, then what did you do? Here's 9 tens and 4 more tens. Okay, so you stole a 10 from there. And that's 10 tens. 8, 9 tens, 10 tens. Traded it for a flat. Okay, so how many tens did you have left over? 3 tens, which is the same as what? What did you write below? You wrote 30 because this 3 is only worth 3. Why is that 3 worth something different? They're 3 tens. 10, 20, 30. Okay, and then what did you do? You saw that there were 200 here. So what was your total? 233. All right, wiggle waggle if that's what you got. Okay. Why did you exchange? Why did you decompose or break up these numbers this way? Why is making a 10 make it easier to solve? So the difference would be that you would have 100, right, plus 130 plus 13. And then you would have to take your hundreds, your tens, and your ones. And when you do that, it makes it a little bit more tricky, doesn't it? Okay, so when you're decomposing or you're making those tens, or I should say composing, finding the tens and then moving them over or trading them, it makes it just a little bit easier to see that work, doesn't it? Okay, now you can solve it different ways, can't you? Yes, absolutely. Okay. All right, friends, let's take a peek and see what was another way of solving this. So one of my friends did use that number line. How did that number line help you this time? Okay, so what did you do first? Okay, it started with 146, and then what? Oh, why did you jump 4? It got you to 150. And where did that 4 come from? Okay, so you had 146 plus 87, and you took 4 from that to make that 150. Okay, and then what did you do? So you were at 146 and you added 4 to get to 150. I'm just writing that in equations so you can see that a little bit and kind of make that connection. What did you do next? 8 tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. And when you made those jumps, what did you land on? 160, 170, 180, 190, 200, 210, 220, 230. Okay, and then what did you do? Why did you have to jump 3 more? Should do this, right? You're breaking your 7 up into 4 and 3 to get to 233. You're at 230 plus 3 more equals 233. Where's your 146 in this work? Here, and all those numbers before that. Where's your 87? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 84, and 3 more is 87. Why did it help to decompose that 7 from the 87 in that way? Getting to that 10, how is that similar to this work? Finding that 10, okay? Making that 10, that friendly number makes things so much easier to solve, doesn't it? If you have that option, it's so much easier to do it like that. Yes. Could we make a 10 here? No, why not? We didn't have enough ones, did we? But here we did. We were able to break that up to get to that next 10, and then we could finish adding. So what is our total? 146 plus 87. How many grapes did Michelle bring? She brought 233 grapes. That's a lot of grapes. Holy guacamole. All right, friends, we're running out of time. So here's what I'm going to challenge you to do. And then tomorrow, our first little part of our lesson will be following up about this, okay? So Darren's calculator is broken. I hate it when that happens. And he doesn't know if it adds correctly. So he puts the numbers in and he never knows if his answer is correct or not. When he adds 43 plus 113, now friends, because we're not doing this together right now, I want you to write this number down. Write these numbers down. He adds 43 plus 113. Are you writing it down? It says that the sum of those two numbers is 543. Is this correct? And how do you know? So is his calculator right? Is his calculator right? Is the sum of 43 plus 113, is it 543? Let me jot this down, and then we're going to see if it's correct when we come back tomorrow, and I'm going to have you share your strategies, okay? So 43 plus 113 equals 545. And I'm going to put question marks around it because we don't know if it's true or not. I want you to solve this on your own, and then you can do your independent practice. Tomorrow we'll come back and summarize our work. Happy solving!